You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Do us a favor and like and subscribe and comment on the video. Subscribe to the podcast or whatever audio podcatcher you're on and give it a 5-star review. It costs absolutely nothing, but helps keep all of this free. If you want more, you can join the Insiders program on the subtext link down below. There's no trolls, a 14-day free trial, and the easiest way to cancel ever. And if it's not enough content for you to be happy, you can view it as a tip if you appreciate what all we do here for you. And don't forget to check out a second listen on the network. Nearly every team, college or pro, is ready for you. So now let's turn full-throated into the Arkansas Razorback. We talked about the national media and how they were just making these absurd takes about Ole Miss being bad because they got off to a slow start against Kentucky and against Georgia State. Ole Miss is obviously a problem team. You know, whatever. It's fine. But looking at that, Ole Miss needs to stop the slow starts. It does need to stop. You can get away with it against Kentucky and against Georgia State. You can do that, but you need to shut it down. You need to start scoring in the first quarter. We talked about last season how the Lane Kiffin script was just fantastic. Ole Miss was going to start up 7-0 nearly every game because the script was going to be so good. Well, this year has been a little bit different. It just hasn't quite looked exactly the same, and it's taken on a little bit of time to get going. So whenever you look at the Arkansas Razorbacks, it gets to be a little bit interesting for the Rebels. Arkansas is the best offensive team that Ole Miss has faced this season, so a quick start is important. Listen, when you look at what Austin Simmons did in Kentucky, he ended up 13 of 24, 235 yards, and 2 interceptions. Both of those interceptions in the first quarter, and both of them led to points for the Kentucky Wildcats. I think 30-yard short fields both time or so. Ole Miss's defense was kind of hung out to dry a little bit. For the season, he's a respectable 35 of 55, 576 yards, good enough for the top 5 in the Southeastern Conference, 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. It will be important for Ole Miss to get off to a quick start. You can't do the things that happened against the Kentucky Wildcats. Now, part of that, I think, needs to be some creativity in the run game. You need to figure out a way to get Kewan Lacey on the edge in space and get Arkansas's defensive linemen and defensive backs and linebackers moving sideline to sideline. Make them wear. Make the depth have to show in an early period of time, and that should open up the deeper passes down the field via play action. That in short passes, and you should be pretty good to go. This isn't Fayetteville, what Arkansas is walking into. This isn't where the ghost of Reynolds Razorback Stadium sits. This is Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi, where Ole Miss has had pretty good success against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, this has been the drunk uncle of games historically. Something weird absolutely happens in this football game, and I'm not going to mention specific plays because it'll just make Ole Miss fans sick. But that does exist from time to time. But don't listen to people say, you can throw the records out the window. That's something the underdog says to try and kind of even the playing field a little bit. Now, one thing that I am curious about is the explosives in the run defense that must be kept at a minimum, as Bobby Petrino absolutely needs them for his pass game. Whenever he does play action, he can do it as well as anybody, and he is a master on the offense. But he needs the run game going for that to work. And over the last few times that Bobby Petrino has run across Pete Golding, Bobby Petrino has had success. In 2023, maybe, at Texas A&M in the second half, it took a blocked field goal at the end of the game, or Texas A&M was about to win that game. And Bobby Petrino in the second half made Max Johnson look like Tom Brady. It's one of those things. He was able to get the Ole Miss defense on skates, and because of that, you're in pretty good shape. We talk about this looking more like 2023 than 2024, that was 2023. So that matchup between Pete Golding and Bobby Petrino is worth remembering. Last season, Ole Miss had record players all over the field. Arkansas scored 31 points. A lot of that with a backup quarterback because Taylor Green got injured. Bobby Petrino has had success against Pete Golding. So at a minimum, I think this needs to be planned to be an offensive shootout. This is just going to be one of those things. If you can't get pressure on Taylor Green, don't let him run. Don't let him go crazy outside the pocket. But if you can get pressure on Green, you'll be all right. And when he throws you the ball, catch it, because he does throw the ball to the other team from time to time. And also, Ole Miss must play a clean game, because every turnover or penalty that kills a drive helps Arkansas be able to beat you. Listen, Ole Miss is significantly better than Arkansas. They are. It's just the way it is. But every time you turn the ball over, every time you do silly things that kill drives, Arkansas gets a little bit closer to where you could be. If you want to beat Arkansas, you need to be careful and be wary of what's going on. And one player, real quick, before we move on to the What to Watch For segment, that you need to keep an eye on is Princewill Umanmielen. He had 4 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack against Kentucky. And he kind of started looking like he was getting ready to come into his own with a quarterback like Taylor Green, Umanmielen, Deshaun Womack, Santarin Perkins. All 3 will have massive roles to play. Perkins, I'm assuming, will be the spy most of the time in this game. But Arkansas's offense is absolutely the key in this football game as long as Ole Miss doesn't turn the ball over. So we'll see exactly what that looks like for the Rebels. Listen, our final segment, starting Saturday with a heavy dose of the run game and play action, that actually might be Lane Kiffin's best move against Arkansas. The Hogs' defense has struggled when forced to respect both downhill runs and deep shots off play fakes, and that combination could get Austin Simmons the clean looks that he needs early. We'll dive into why establishing the ground game not only controls the tempo, but also opens up explosive plays downfield, plus other keys and what to watch as Ole Miss gets ready to lean against Arkansas. That's all coming up next. Thanks again for making Locked On Ole Miss your go-to source for Ole Miss sports. We pride ourselves in offering the most comprehensive perspectives, which is why we are the front door of Ole Miss. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to the show. It helps the show. It's totally free. Your support means the world to us. In another big moment for Locked On, college football fans, Locked On and Fire TV are presenting College Football Kickoff. It's your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation along 2-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. Howdy toddy, everybody. And remember, analytics is just the old English word that means bad football. We'll see you tomorrow.